Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom, thank you for joining me. Today's episode is the cancelling of Derrick Jaxn, or we could title it, How Derrick Jaxn Played Himself. This is a response to the video that Derrick Jaxn and his wife Danae put out titled, Did I Cheat in My Marriage? And also a response to the latest Mistress that came forward. So not Mistress 1, 2, but Mistress 3. Alright, for those of you who don't know, Derrick Jaxn, alright, so he's on his Instagram, his little tagline is Healing and Healthy Relationships God's Way. So he's kind of like a self-love relationship guru who about a year back I noticed him kind of trying to transition into the narcissism spectrum, trying to do some videos about narcissism. Now it was interesting because Chanel, who is the spiritual whistleblower, had done a video actually asking, is Derrick Jaxn a narcissist? And I remember commenting on her video, congratulating her on it, and saying that I agreed with her and that I thought that he was taking advantage of a vulnerable audience. So, recent reports have come out that Derrick Jaxn had extramarital affairs. So he and Danae have been married, they're college sweethearts. They were together for like 10 years before they got married. So they got married in January of 2018. They've got 2 children. Derrick's, this typical gorgeous black man, he's university educated, an ex-jock, well-spoken, and he plays on it. There's no doubt about it. He plays on his looks. So 4 days ago, on the 23rd of March, Derrick Jaxn comes out with his apology video. One thing that I noticed, found that was interesting, was comments have been turned off. Comments are turned off on everything. Now I'm sure he's using the excuse that it's because, people were being cruel to his wife because she came out looking like she just finished doing the washing up, to be honest. She was wearing a bonnet, she didn't have any makeup on. Didn't look like she was wearing a bra. She was very relaxed. And the thing is, I've got to say this, Derrick Jaxn has spent years on social media and in the public spotlight. He knows how cruel people can be, and yet he still let her go on camera looking like that. He should have sat her down. He looked fine. He looked like he normally does. He should have just sat her down and given her time. He shouldn't have even had her there. Sorry, I'll backtrack. She shouldn't have been there. It's got nothing to do with her. His cheating is on him. He's literally trotted her out, damage control for his career. So he's turned off all the comments and he's still promoting his book. And I noticed this is another thing. So he's got a book called Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other. Now he released that on the 12th of March. So this is like 2 weeks before all the cheating stories have come forth. So there's, like I said, not 2, but now 3 mistresses. So the ones that people know about is a woman called Candace, who spoke to Tasha K on YouTube live, and she'd known Derrick for 10 years, met up with him in 2020. And Lulai was the second one, who was a client who'd actually gone to catch up with Derrick for some advice about her boyfriend that she had just separated from. So, not only is he having affairs, so cheating on his wife, having affairs, but he's also taking advantage of vulnerable women, and that is not okay. So, the third woman, let's just be clear. So he uses the same MO with all these women. He tells them that him and his wife are separated and that they're getting a divorce, and that, that she's just making it so hard to get a divorce. They were actually separated from February the 1st, 2020 to September of 2020. And he met Lulai in August. But, drum roll, literally just after he brought out this, inverted commas, apology, a new woman has come forward. Her name is Nikki, and she also lives out at Atlanta. Apparently she's a surgeon, and he has been stepping out with Nikki since October 29, 2020, saying that he was separated. Once again, same old story, you know, they're separated, you know, the divorce, blah, blah, blah. Now, the thing is, right, the day after the apology that he made, he got onto Instagram and did a live where he was talking to the public about his wife's bonnet and, you know, her appearance and blah, blah, blah. Now, what happened was he took that video footage outside the new mistress's house. Tasha K has the screenshots, the receipts that were sent, where Nikki, or Nick as he refers to her, actually made a point of saying, you recorded your last video outside of my house. Now, subsequently, he's taken that video down, but you can see in previous videos, he was indeed recording outside. She's kind of got this white, Santa Monica looking, or Santa Barbara looking McMansion thing. Sure enough, same spot. So he's been caught out, like I said, again, literally after denying the affairs. Then he admitted the affairs. Then he tried to subsequently diminish and reduce any accountability because, oh no, this is when we were separated. But now, like I said, now, you know, Nikki, literally, it's been days. He hasn't seen her for a few days. And he recorded that video outside of her house. She also has footage of him going back to her house, looking where her security cameras are because he's checking to see what footage she's got. So the man's in absolute free fall, like his career's in free fall. He's in damage control. He's trotting out the wife. He's tried to put a gag order on this new Nikki, Mistress. And how he got away with it with her was apparently he did the same thing that he did with the other women. When he'd broken up with these other mistresses, he had just blocked them on social media. He didn't tell them why they were breaking up, nothing. He just blocked them. So with Nikki, he had the hindsight or foresight to know that, you know, that this stuff would catch up to him. So he already blocked her. So she couldn't see. She didn't know he had this whole YouTube and Instagram. She didn't know any of that was going on. It wasn't until she used one of her friends' accounts that she could actually see him sitting there with the wife, the apology, the sorry saga. It wasn't until then, just recently, that she saw all this. So like I said, she came forth to Tasha K with the receipts. All right, just quickly, let me just check my notes here. Okay, so there's a few things that I have to remind you guys. This is a man who has made his career kind of naming and shaming other men and upholding such high standards. And that's great. I mean, it's fantastic having high standards. But you can't hold up high standards if you don't live up to those same high standards. So this man has now been caught out to be, you know, two-faced, double standards, hypocrite, liar, con artist, manipulator. He's written these books, so he's still selling his books. They're all kind of, you know, sold out currently. So these are some of the titles of his books, so you get an idea of where this man's head at. So, I Still Want It, book of poetry. A Cheating Man's Heart. Oh, Cheating Man's Heart 1, 2, and 3. The Single Mothers Are for Grown Men Only. I think that might be like an ode to his mother, essentially, because, you know, he grew up with a single mum. I Still Deserve It. So I Still Want It and I Still Deserve It. And I've Come Too Far, self-help book. And I think that last one's really interesting because I think that's what's going on here. I don't believe that that he's trying to save his marriage. I do believe that he's trying to save his reputation and trying to save face. One of the most bizarre things that Derrick Jaxn did, I mean, other than his very, his behaviour is classic narcissist. Okay, and now I can't diagnose anyone. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not going to. But everything from, you know, the gaslighting of his wife, of his viewers, you know, with the manipulation, with the word salad, the confusing conversations, the things that he's saying, the triangulation between the mistresses and the wife. I mean, on and on and on it goes. Classic narcissistic behaviour. The weirdest thing that I think I've seen him do, other than, like I said, him pulling his wife out for this kind of, this apology, but he kind of trotted her out to go, look, she's forgiven me and Jesus has forgiven me. So you don't have to forgive me, but you know, I mean, she has and Jesus has, so you won't be good company if you don't. You know, super manipulative. But this is the other thing. Then he did this weird responding to himself video. So it was super weird. So just in case we didn't know how we were supposed to react the first time, he's now gone and do a responding to his own video where he sits and refers to himself in the third party and goes through and reviews what he says and says, you know, things like, you know, I think that he's really sorry and I think that this man's changed, and, you know, just crazy behavior. I've seen his wife on Instagram. I've seen her defending him. I've seen her ranting about Jesus and the enemy, and, you know, talking about stalking the other women. And, you know, I really see that he's manipulated her. I mean, he's telling her what she wants to hear, essentially. He's telling her that, you know, it wasn't me, baby. You know, it's the devil. It's the devil that made me do it, you know, and I'm fighting this war against myself. And, you know, there's like bad Derrick and then there's good Derrick. And, you know, and I need you, baby. I need you. You're God's warrior. The reality is, Derrick Jaxn, I can guarantee every dollar I have. Derrick Jaxn will use his wife to placate the general public. As I said, though, he'll use her to say, well, you know, if she can forgive me, then you can forgive me. He will use it to sell his books. And once he gets back to a position where he no longer needs her support, he will move on to another woman. I mean, he's already trying on other women, trying to make something fix, see if he can make it work with another woman. So he's looking for a replacement. So she was his primary supply for over 10, 13 years. Now he's looking for new supply. That's the reality. And he's conned her, like I said, into saying and doing, you know, basically what he's bidding, essentially, which is super sad and highly manipulative. So here we are on the 27th of March. So March 18th was the last time that Nikki saw him. And this is when, like I said, this is, you know, before the I'm sorry, you know, I got caught cheating, blah, blah, blah. However, she didn't see him from that time, but he did send the videos, he did send her the text messages after he'd already done the apology video. So after he got up here and told everyone that he was a changed man, that he'd found Jesus, that he was working on his marriage, that all that stuff happened ages ago, right, as in last year, despite him saying all of that, one of the first things he did when he got off that video was to contact her because she had blocked him. So just like he had blocked her, she turned around and blocked him. So he contacted her from a different number and asked, "What, you know, are you blocking me?" And then she just confronted him. She just said, "I've just seen the video. You know, I've seen you up there with your wife. You know, the woman that you said that you only married, you know, because she was pregnant, blah, blah, blah." Even that in itself, like, they were together for 10 years. They got pregnant, and like a lot of people do when they have babies, they decide, oh, we better get married, right? But the way Derrick spins it to the new mistress is, I only married her because she was pregnant. Do you know what I mean? See what I'm saying? How deceitful and manipulative that kind of behavior is. But this is exactly what narcissists do. Another thing that Nikki had said, or in the videos, she mentioned, as I said, the fact that he had recorded outside of her place. So there was that. But the other thing she had mentioned was that she wears a certain perfume, and he had made a comment, Derrick had made a comment about her perfume, saying that his mother had smelt it and that he wanted to buy her a bottle. So, you know, what was it? What was it called? Well, he did buy her a bottle, but Nikki somehow saw the receipt and noticed that he had bought 2 bottles of the perfume. Now, this is all allegedly, but this is something a narcissist would do. So he's given the mistress her perfume, and he's given the wife the same bottle of perfume. So they're both wearing the same perfume. So neither of them are going to be put off if they smell another woman's perfume. See, once again, super manipulative behavior. I really hope that the women of the world really snap out of the love bombing with Derrick Jaxn, because that is exactly what he is doing. You know, he's up there, and if you watch any of his videos, you'll know this is true. He's up there looking like a snack. That's the first thing, always. And telling women, you deserve the world. And we all do deserve the world. But the thing is, he doesn't actually think that. He's telling us what we want to hear. You know, which is exactly what narcissists do. Okay, so they mirror back to us our own values, our own beliefs, our own ideals. Right, so that's what he does. He sits up there saying all this stuff to women, and women are sitting there going, that's right, I do deserve all these things. And it forms this weird kind of fangirl crush thing, you know, fuels him, gives him heaps of fuel, not to mention money. Like, he's profiteering left, right and centre off the very women, like I said, that he's conning. Like, this is a con. You know, this is not a good man. This is a man who pretends to be good, who pretends to have found Jesus. He's telling everyone what they want to hear. And as soon as he gets what it is that he wants, then he will forget about these things. You know, and the problem with narcissists is they actually get so caught up in the moment. Like, he probably doesn't even realize that this is what he's doing. He probably doesn't. You know, he gets so caught up in the moment of what's going on and how he feels in the moment. So when he's with the wife, he might feel like, yes, I'm going to make this marriage work. And, you know, we'll be like the poster child of how to repair a marriage, and our book will sell, and everyone will admire us, and we'll get heaps of fuel. I mean, attention. I mean, money. I mean, you know, kudos. And, you know, so when he's with her, that's what he's thinking. But then as soon as she's out of sight and out of mind, and he's on the phone to Nikki, you know, he's thinking about her and the life he's going to create with her when his divorce is actually finalised. This is the problem with narcissists. There's no object constancy, no whole object relations. They go from one person to another. Like I said, all highly manipulative behaviour. If anyone knows his wife personally, please help her snap out of her delusion, because she has in her brain associated the trials and tribulations that she's going through in her marriage with her relationship with Jesus. Right? And this is another thing that narcissists do. Jesus wasn't there when Derrick did his thing. Jesus is not going to actually save her from Derrick. She needs to save herself from Derrick and reconnect with Jesus. Right? But the two are not actually connected. But in her mind, he's probably put that in her mind. But in her mind, those two are inseparably linked. So when she thinks of, like I said, when she thinks of Jesus, she thinks about the troubles in her marriage. But anyone who watched her lives or read her Instagram stories will know that's a woman on the edge. She, you know, she's really, really struggling. She might appear strong, but she even talks about it in one of her own posts where she, you know, confirmed that that she would have she was a step away, or something like this, a step away from having her own Netflix series, essentially. So she's a woman on the edge. So if you know her, please get Danae away from Derrick, please just help her realise that he is a narcissist and he will destroy her. Getting her back is part of his strategy. If he can get her back, it makes him look like the good guy again. You know, he's not comfortable being outed for what he really is. And he will do and say anything to get his reputation and to get his job and his money back on track. All right, lovies, thanks for listening. Bye.